Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I recently made a video titled Skyrim Expert Plays Morrowind for the first time in 2021. Spoilers, I'm the Skyrim expert. That video is my best performing video to date, so I decided to do it again. I'm sure if you're a fan of the series, you already know what's going on. Today, we're playing Oblivion. It took me around 9 hours to complete the main story, and I had a ton of fun doing it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the Morrowind video, we get another better than Skyrim title screen. Let's hope we get another cool title screen like the old ones for Elder Scrolls 6. I'd say this cutscene was too long if it hadn't have been so cool. That's another thing Skyrim could have done better. The camera zooms into our jail cell and pushes us right into character creation. Warning, I'm about to say something that no sane person has ever uttered. I chose to play as an orc. I customized myself to perfection and then gave myself a name fitting of a sentient being, Shrock. My neighboring prisoner told me that he was in for movie piracy. I expressed my feelings about this by punching the epidermal layer of skin off of my fists. Cause you wouldn't steal a car! The guards noticed that I was getting a little too dangerous, so they told me to stand in the corner as they bring the most important / vulnerable person in Tamriel into the cell with arguably the most orcish and shrockest large green man in Tamriel. The guards opened a hidden passageway and told me not to follow them, so I led them instead. From the back of the line. The Mythic Dawn launched a sneak attack on us, so my first order of business was to allow one of the blades to die and then take her weapon. I'm sure this was just for the sake of item progression, but she didn't carry a blade sword. I'll loot her iron one instead so I can get to killing, as soon as I figure out how the menu works. There we go. If you've been around the channel enough, you know that I don't mess around with difficulty. I crank the slider all the way to 0. I want the enemies to fall dead when I look at them. It seems the blades weren't joking when they told me not to follow them, as they locked the door this time. Lucky for us, I know exactly what to do. You have to find a way around with a hole and blatantly ignore their orders, but then prove yourself in the end to be a valuable cog in their machine. Hopefully, afterward, they'll give me a job. I tried lockpicking. I've done this before, but I never actually figured out how to pick locks in Oblivion, since it's so different from Skyrim. Luckily, I was able to figure it out. Zombies are an enemy type that Oblivion has, but Skyrim doesn't. This is just another cool thing that I think they could bring back for Elder Scrolls 6. Since I'm playing as an ogre, I decided to go for heavy armor, which I don't think I've ever done. I continued to finish the rest of the tutorial. I sped this section up because it's not very interesting, and I'm pretty sure it took me like 50 minutes to actually complete the whole thing. I rejoined the Emperor and Blades, helped him fend off the Mythic Dawn again. The Emperor spoke to me, and the Blades told me to stay in the room with him and protect him with my life. Remember what I said earlier about proving myself as a valuable cog in their machine? Well, this is it. This is my moment. Wait, hey, that wall is opening. I need to do something. Oh, he's dead. Luckily, he gave me the Amulet of Kings. That means I'm the Emperor now. I chose the Knight class because for some reason they forgot to add the Emperor of Tamriel class and left the tutorial area. I could tell this wasn't exactly what Cyrodiil was supposed to look like, so I looked at my settings and found that I didn't have distant trees in the rendering section turned on. That's better. I started my journey across Cyrodiil by ending the life of a harmless dog and a crab. I tried to pick a hard lock, but it wasn't working out very well. I walked for a while to go and talk to a guy named Joffrey. He told me to find Uriel Septim's heir in Kvatch. In case you haven't picked up on it yet, like most Bethesda games, there's going to be a lot of walking. I'll skip past most of it though. I ended up on the wrong side of Kvatch. I tried to climb it, but it was a little too steep and I ended up going around instead. I noticed that the sky got angry when I got close to the entrance of Kvatch. I got an explanation as to why when I turned the corner and spotted an Oblivion gate. I killed a small gremlin and then spoke to the captain of the Kvatch guard. He told me that if I really wanted to help, I could. So I did the big brave and entered the Oblivion gate. I spoke to a generic man and told him he was free to go back home and I'll take care of the rest. Killed some more imps, gained entrance to the big tower, opened an alarmingly gross door, and found an arguably more grosser person waiting for me on the other side. He was a Dremora Lord, and let me tell you, these guys are a lot more intimidating in Skyrim. He was a pushover. I took his mace as a trophy of my triumph, and used it to clear the rest of the tower. I tried to rescue a prisoner at the top, but he told me to leave him and take the sigil stone in the main tower instead. So I did exactly that, scaled the tower, and took the sigil stone. Though the Oblivion Gate is closed, the siege is far from over. We entered the city to finish off the baby demons, because if there's one thing I'm good at, it's killing babies. We entered the church to regroup with the survivors. We couldn't access the central part of the city because the gates were closed, so the captain tasked me to go through the basement and raise the gates from the inside. We fought our way through the castle only to find that the Duke was already dead. An unfortunate turn of events, but not everyone can handle the Neutron style. I told the captain what had happened and he respectfully removed his armor. I went down to the survivors camp to find Martin and tell him he was gonna be Emperor. I took him back to talk to Joffrey, only to find that the Mythic Dawn were waiting for us. As per usual, I killed all of them with ease, but not before they were able to steal the Amulet of Kings. Now that the Mythic Dawn knew where Martin was, it was too dangerous to leave him here, so Joffrey told me to meet him at Skyhaven Temple. Then the Blades hailed Martin as the new Emperor. Next order of business was to meet a man at a tavern in the Imperial City. I'm gonna make this clear right now. There are a lot of times where all I do for a quest is talk to a dude, so I'll do my best to skip past those parts, but I'll warn you that that is most of what we end up doing. I retrieved a book that belonged to the Mythic Dawn and was told that there was a hidden message in the pages. I found that if I take all the big letters and put them together, it gives me a sentence. Green Emperor Way, where tower touches midday sun. It was a riddle of some kind. Green Emperor Way was a place in the Imperial City, and I had a couple of ideas on how to solve the riddle. I'll admit that I had to look this up to figure it out in the end though. Maybe I'm not a real gamer after all. I went to the Mythic Dawn hideout, listened to a speech from Mankar Cameron. Unfortunately, he was able to escape, but I was still able to take the book. It turned out the Mythic Dawn liked this book because when I stole it, they all tried to kill me. But I was on easy mode, so they all failed. Returning to Cloud Ruler Temple, I gave the book to Martin. He told me that in order to get to Cameron, I would need to collect some things. First was Azura's Star. I went to Azura's Shrine, but the shrine told me that the quest required someone stronger to start it. So I tried to navigate my menu to find out what level I was, and how is it even possible that I'm not level 2 yet? I'm like 4 hours into this stuff. So I had to leave to try to level up. At first I was gonna go into this house and just, well, kill a family. But when I went upstairs, I saw that it was a family of fellow Shrocks, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So instead, I went around Cyrodiil and found another Oblivion gate, entered it, cleared it by taking the Sigil Stone, then did it again, and still didn't level up. I looked up a leveling guide on YouTube, and the guy said that sleeping is a part of the leveling system. So I found an inn in the Imperial City, rented a room, went to bed, and before I knew it, I was confronted by a standing too close man. He was an assassin from the Dark Brotherhood. He told me that I was a cold-blooded killer, and that my place was in the Dark Brotherhood. All I had to do was kill one of their targets for them. I located the man at an inn sleeping and snuck over to him. When I put my crosshair on him and pushed E, I noticed an extra option. The feed option was usually exclusive to vampires or cannibals in Skyrim, so I wasn't sure why I had it. I went ahead and killed the target, checked my active effects menu, and it turned out I contracted vampirism at one point. I don't know when, but this ended up being a rather large annoyance later on. I bought a room, went to sleep, and leveled up. Now I can continue the main quest. The assassin appeared again to tell me I was in. Finally, I could get back to the main quest, but I definitely wanted to continue the Dark Brotherhood quest line in another video. Get subscribed so you don't miss that. Azura told me to track down and kill a group of vampires hiding in a nearby cave, so it looks like it's gonna be a vampire fight. They could turn invisible, which was annoying, but since we were in a cave, all I needed to do was swing until I hit one. After I did her bidding, Azura rewarded me with her star, and I awarded it to Martin. Next item was the Blood of a God. Martin used his incredible brain to come up with a 5 billion IQ, disguised toast looking ass, sus us among us level strategy to get some. So we need to obtain the Blood of a God. Go about doing this, you might ask. Well, very simple. Don't ask yourself how to get the blood of a god. Ask yourself how to get the blood of a god who was once a man. Talos. You know that guy the High Elves don't like? You know the guy that Stormcloaks worship and Imperials kill them for? Yeah, that guy. Did you know that before he was a Talos, he was an emperor? Tiber Septim, an early dragonborn, the first leader in the Septim line of emperors. If we could just get his blood, then we would have the blood of a god. So Martin sent me off to his tomb to retrieve his armor. There were ghosts inside haunting the place. My sword couldn't touch them, so at first I had to rely on spells, but later in the dungeon I found that the Blade of Woe, no, not that one, which I got from the assassin earlier, could affect them, so I relied on that throughout the dungeon. I picked up the armor and thought that, for just a moment, Shrock would look better in it than Martin. When I returned, Martin had to take the armor from me, which of course resulted in my nakedness, but hey, I'm not complaining. Finally, I went to grab a big glowy rock. Now that we had all the ingredients, we needed to defend from a large-scale attack on Bruma. When I got to the battlefield, I thought this guard was Martin, but what I found was that all the guards don't just look the same, but they all look like Martin. The real Martin gave his speech, and the siege began. An absolutely huge Oblivion gate opened up. This is what we were waiting for, so I entered it. I've been in Oblivion a couple of times now, but I've never had the gates open for me like this. They must have finally recognized my prowess as a warrior and realized that I deserve a proper greeting when I arrive. There was a giant drill here. I'm pretty sure it's the same one from the opening cutscene. I don't know if this was the intended route, but in order to get across, I had to make a huge jump to this platform. It's barely reachable, so it just seems like it wasn't what Bethesda wanted us to do when they designed this place. This time wasn't much different than all the other times I've been to Oblivion, except there were more enemies. I got the grand sigil stone, though it looked like a regular one, and went back. If there's one thing I've learned about Oblivion, it's that, unlike Skyrim, Oblivion doesn't give a single heck about anyone dying. Because when I got back with the sigil stone, literally everyone was dead. Not just soldiers, but story characters too. Like Boris, who was the first blade we met way back in the dungeon. And even Joffrey, who's been helping us since the beginning. Even after all that, we weren't done. I met Martin back at Sky Ruler Cloudhaven Temple, and he began the process of opening a portal to Cameron's Paradise. When the gate opened, I wasted no time entering it. I arrived and realized it was actually quite nice. It even had cave people. I spoke with a Dremora who said I was an honorable fighter, but he didn't anticipate that I was playing on the easiest difficulty. A mythic Dawn chick approached me and said,
"You did not expect to see me again, did you?"
When I met with Mankar Cameron, it became apparent that he too did not expect me to be playing on easy mode. I gave Martin the Amulet of Kings, and we went to meet Chancellor Okato. But before we could start emperoring Martin, we were attacked by Dremora. Oblivion gates had opened all over the Imperial City. We were forced to fight. I realized quickly that what I said earlier about Oblivion not caring if important characters die would stand true here, as I got the notification that Martin had died, and all hope was lost. I tried again, found a dead Imperial soldier, and used the opportunity to upgrade my gear. The helmet was a little too small for Shrock's head. Shrock head big, weak small head helmet no fit on Shrock head, Shrock exclaimed frustratedly. After I found the dead guard, I decided to take advantage of a possible opportunity. Hopefully I would be able to kill a guard without consequences. So I chased one of the ones with nice armor down and murdered him. To my surprise, his armor couldn't even be looted, which sucks, because I kinda killed a guy for that. Finally, it was time for action. Mehrunes Dagon appeared in the city. This was my time to shine. So I ran over and started absolutely pulverizing, demolishing, and completely asphyxiating his calves. I left to find Martin, not because I was tired or couldn't do it or anything, but because I wanted him to have a chance, you know? Martin said that all I needed to do was get him to the Dragonfires. This should be easy enough. All I do is slash some Dremora and... well, so Martin and I entered the room. He gave me a short talk. I lost control of my legs, and Martin god-dang septed him. And that's how Martin, how I beat The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion. I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say, Oblivion is a 10 out of 10. Easily one of the best games I've ever played. It was so good that I started playing the game on Sunday, played for an hour, then on Monday I was so hooked that I played for almost 8 hours straight. I'm super excited to do more Oblivion videos in the future, and I hope you would consider joining me for those videos by sneak attacking the heck out of the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.